Alright guys, in this video we are going to be adding API endpoints to a blockchain we developed in the previous video, and we are also be adding going to be adding Swagger API documentation. And if you've not watched the other previous video of how we created this blockchain with Cosmos SDK and Ignite, if you've not seen it, please go to the description section of this video just below this and you can get it. If you already know how to create blockchains with Cosmos SDK and Ignite, and you're just looking for how to add documentation and API endpoints or expose the commands to API endpoints, this is the right video for you. Okay, remember, it's your one and only Dev Partner, and you can always find me on udemy.com/user/Dev Partner. Go there and watch all my videos. Okay, so now Cosmos blockchain allows us to use Go language. That's the programming language you use to develop any features there. But also Go programming language has Echo framework. I've already done tutorials on this. You can find them on Udemy. Okay, but even if you don't know Go language and you don't know Echo, you can still follow along in this video because Go language is very much like JavaScript. It's simple. So first off, what we want to do here is to add Echo framework to this. Echo framework is like a Laravel framework, and Go language is like a PHP. Okay, so here now inside my folder, my project folder, I want to run some commands to install Echo. Okay, so I'll do go mode init. We already have go mode here. So now we can go ahead with go get you github.com/lab-stack echo v4. Now you need to know that Echo is just one of the frameworks you can use with Go language. There are so many Go frameworks. Okay, so if you are having any other Go framework, you can just follow the general method that I'm using here. Okay, so at the time I'm creating this course, Echo framework v4 is like the latest framework, the latest version of the Echo framework. So in future, if there are more versions, you can always use latest to install it. Okay, now make sure you have your internet on and it will install. That was fast, so I'm going to clear this and do the second installation. So go get Echo framework, and we're going to do v4/middleware. We're installing the middleware, and we can do Swagger. Okay, GitHub, you get github.com swaggo echo swagger. Okay, github.com swaggo echo swagger. Okay, so like this, because we're gonna use Swagger to the Swagger is the package that you use to generate API documentation. So you don't just have to have a API which Echo will give us. We also need to be able to generate documentation that other developers can come and read and test their APIs. The APIs will connect to our blockchain, and they can create, they can send data to our blockchain, retrieve, delete, and so on. So we're done with that. The next one is CMD swag. So here we're gonna do swaggo echo swaggo CMD swag. Remember to like and subscribe. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet, you need to click the red subscribe button below and click the share button and drop a comment. If you don't do these three things, there's no way YouTube will show you my next video. So something is wrong here. It says exit status repository not found. Let's see. Echo github.com swaggo swag. Yeah, my bad. Swag CMD Swago, swag, CMD swag. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, now it's working. So while that is happening or loading, now we need to go to main in CMD. See CMD main.go. This is the main entry point of the app, and we can expand it more. So as you can see here, this is what it looks like. Now we can expand it more. So we're gonna add some extra imports, and then add some commands in the main. Okay, so in the main now we can in case you don't know, my editor can import extra packages for me based on the code I write. So if yours doesn't do that, you need to install Go. Go to your extensions here and search for Go, the official package by Google, and it will do that. So echo.new. So this is how you initialize Echo framework, and then we can now add middlewares. Okay, the first middleware is use middleware.logger. Okay, so we do the same thing with recover. Okay, so we can now add Swagger endpoint. So these are the things we want to boot with our platform. E.get. If you want to see our API documentation, we want you to visit Swagger, our website.com/swagger/ whatever else. Okay, it will now be echo swagger.wrap handler. Okay, echo swagger.wrap handler. All right, then the last one is we need to initialize routes. So do routes.init routes. Now this means that we are going to create a routes file eventually. Okay, where we'll put our key routes. Now we also have to now start our server, and the server will be started at that is if the server has not started. So start. So we're going to choose a port for the server to start. Usually it's 8080, but you know, so many platforms and servers run at 8080. For instance, my MAMP server, I don't want it to clash, so I'm going to use 1323. You can actually put any port there, so that only Swagger can run, only Echo framework can run on that. Fatal error starting server. Okay, error. So if you look at this now, we're done, and this is just for the command. Okay, we're done, but I can now say Control S. If I do Control S, I expect it to import a number of things. Okay, for instance, Echo Swagger that is not here, I will be forced to add it. So Echo Swagger it's going to be github.com swaggo echo-swagger. Okay, now all these imports, make sure that they are on different lines, and another one is going to be, let's check if there's any other bugs here. All right, no other bugs. Now why is this showing red? Okay, error while importing this. So we can import it. So I'm gonna click here, go to my command prompt, and see if I can fix that. So clear go mode tidy. So go mode tidy simply runs through your files and tries to sort out everything out. So a lot has been done for us here. And let me specifically try this one. Clear. Go get, paste. That is this one that is complaining. Hit enter. Oh, it has fixed. All the bugs are gone. All right. Now we have everything done here. Let's go to the route file. So we want to look for whether there's already a route folder here. If there is none, we have to create a fresh folder and call it routes. So I'm going to come to this empty space. You can click here, but I want to come to this empty space and create a new folder. Call it routes. Now inside this routes folder, I'm going to add a route file, routes.go. Okay, now inside this routes file, we can now start writing some code. Package, the package name is routes. You can call yours anything, but actually it's by convention you should call it the name of the folder. Okay, so we're going to do some imports, but I will leave it empty for now until we're done writing our codes so that we can see whether our code will automatically import it. So init routes initializes all the API routes for the blog. Okay, so now we're going to do func init routes e star echo dot echo. Okay, this is how you do it in Echo Framework. So you can go to Echo Framework website and read more about Echo. Like I said, I've already done a tutorial on it on udemy.com/user/Dave partner. You will see my Echo tutorial there. Okay, post routes. So now let's initialize our route. E.post. This is how you initialize a post route. Posts. And it's gonna connect to what? So in the previous video, we created some features like about create a post, view a post, delete a post. We created those features. If you come to this file, this X, my blog, okay, you're gonna see, you see, create a post, delete post, update post, and so on. List all the posts, show a particular post. So we've already written the algorithm, including this. For that, we've already written the algorithm. So feel free to explore all those codes, but you can watch the video in the description section of this video to see it. So now we have created a URL for that. Now we can duplicate that and then expand the endpoints. So we can say ID handlers get post. Handlers, this is supposed to be a get. So here we have another get. We have another get, handlers dot list post. This is supposed to be capital, list post. Posts, that's plural. Okay, so this kind of says get all posts. Okay, so the next one is put post colon / ID. So once you give it an ID, it will go and meet this update post and update post, update a post, and then delete will go to /post / ID. Once you give it an ID of a post, it will go to delete post and delete a post. Okay, and what else? Let me just make sure I comment this. In case you don't know me yet, I like to add a lot of comments in my posts, in my tutorials, so that it will be easy for you to understand. So now we've done this. This is all for this platform. So I'm gonna press Command S and see whether it's gonna import the right files. Command S, and it's imported at least one. We need two actually. So I'm gonna put open bracket and copy, and then github.com/lab slash not github.com. No. What we need here is my blog/handlers, and let's see how that pans out. Could not import my blog handlers, no required module. Okay. Now when working with Go, it's actually safer or more recommended that you reference your app. If you're trying to reference a folder within your app, that you reference it from the GitHub. So you should have pushed this to GitHub, okay? And then I'll go and copy the GitHub URL and try to reference the folder of my app on GitHub instead of the local one. So but we're going to go with this local one, and that's because we've not created the handlers folder. So now the next thing we're going to create is the handlers folder. All right, we're going to create handlers post.co, but let me create it first, then I'll show you something. I'm going to create new folder. We're going to call it handlers. Handlers, and inside it we're going to create a Go file, post.go. all right, then we can write, this is where we're going to, this is like our controller, okay? This is where we're going to write the codes that the endpoint will point to. But I want to show you something here in X, in Keeper. If you come here, you will see that in the previous video we wrote the controller codes for the command line prompts. You understand? We already written it here, but this is for the command line. So now we're going to write something similar but not the same. Something similar that does similar function but not the same. All right, we're not going to use runtime, KVStar adapter and stuff. So because this one is for the web. All right, so package, can you guess what the package name should be? Yes, you're right, handlers. And then we're going to do import, okay? Can you guess the files we're going to import? No, hold on. Let's finish with the functions first. So func create post. So this is how you initialize functions in Echo framework. So you have to do echo.context, and it's of type error. Now we can now say post a variable is equal to new models new. And lest I forget, if in the process of creating this video I make a mistake, don't worry, I'll eventually see it and I'll eventually come back and fix it. So just keep going with me. Whenever I want to test the code and I see the mistake, I will come back and fix it, okay? So we're gonna do if there's an error, c dot bind post. I think I should be adding more comments. All right, so here we're gonna have we're gonna check for errors. So error, if it is not nil, then this is what you do in the event of an error. c.json. So you respond with JSON, and it's gonna be HTTP status bad request, and then you attach the error. And I think this does it. We can go a little further. For instance, we can do post ID equal to len models posts, and then +1. Okay, models dot posts equal to append models dot posts post, return c.json, and that's gonna be HTTP the status, yeah, status created, comma, post. Yeah. So like this, it's all underlined because we have not done the necessary imports at the top. But if I save now with let me close this. If I save with Command S, it's gonna import it, and we can even add more imports. For instance, we can do my blog / models. We're gonna create a models folder, so don't worry. And we're also gonna do um, strict conf because we're gonna use it. For now, we have not used it. So I think this solves the create a new post. It handles the endpoint for create post. Now we'll go for the next endpoint for get a post. Okay, func get post c.echo.context error, and we're gonna use id error and like this strict conv param, yeah, the id, and then we're checking for errors, and the error is gonna be invalid id. Okay, invalid id, and then we're gonna loop posts, so range models dot posts, then we'll go with an if statement if it is the post id, and finally we'll return c.json and http status http.status. Okay, post. And I think we're almost done. One last thing, we're gonna return here, return c.json http.status not found, post not found. Okay, so let's go for the next one, which is to list posts. This is the shortest function here. It's just a line, list posts. So if we want to fetch all posts, all right, so here see echo.context. So see echo.context. So almost all your functions in Echo framework will start like this. And then we're just gonna return c.json http dot status, okay, models dot posts. Remember, we've not created the models folder, okay. And then second to the last function is gonna be the update post. So func update post c echo.context error, and then we go id error. So let's just make it a variable, string conf dot atoy and c dot param id, and we can now put check for errors. If the error is nil, if the error is not nil, so we can return JSON that simply says the HTTP status bad request, and oops, invalid ID. So this is when you want to update a post, you have to check for the ID first. I know this is not your first time of communicating with a DB. The only difference is that the DB here is a blockchain. So now we're going to check for errors again. So I'm just going to copy this, paste here. But then we're going to change the error message. and say error. So we return whatever error, but also we want to add some extra stuff here. So we say c.bind post like this. Okay, so now we have for I p equals range models.posts. Okay, if p.id equals id models.posts I. Okay, all right, so then p.id is equal to id. Finally, we return c.json, and it's gonna be http dot status okay post. All right, so we're gonna do it like this. I'm gonna add some comments. So a few more comments here. Bind the post, and just so that when you pull the repository, the link to the GitHub repository will be in the description section. When you pull it, it's gonna be easy for you to understand what's going on in each section. And there we go. So there is a problem. I think I made a mistake here. So remove the dot here. Okay. So bind post here, and then here create post, here get ID, and I think it's well commented now. I think we have to list posts. Okay, so well elegant code. I wonder why this error is here, but it says a missing return. Okay, yeah, we still have to return something. So let's return c.json. In case the thing is not found, http status not found, post not found. Okay, like this. All right. All right. So right here we do func delete post, see echo dot context, error, id, error, str conf, string conf. Okay, a toy, and then we'll fetch the parameter c.param, okay, and id. Now we check for errors. If there is an error, we return status bad request invalid ID, and here needs to be an error, and then we're going to say so for I post range models.posts, we'll do if post dot id is equal to id, then models.posts equal to append models.posts I models.posts. So return c.json http dot status. Okay. So post deleted. And then finally we're going to return c.json http dot status not found post not found. Okay, so this is supposed to be this. So now we're done with the controller. We're basically going to go through everything, make sure it's all good, no errors, no red underlines. Well, except for this because we have not created it. So now we're going to create it. So come to an empty space at the bottom, right click, new folder, models. And inside the models, we are going to now add post.go as a model. If you've coded in Django, PHP, Laravel, Cake PHP, and so on, you will easily understand what I'm doing by creating the handlers. I would have called it controllers though. Models, you will understand what these files mean. So can you guess what the package name will be? Of course, models. And here we're just going to define the data type as a struct. So post struct. And then ID, we will be expecting an ID. Okay. It will be an integer title string, and content string. So now we have all this, but we want to let's just let me even put a better definition. Post defines the structure of blog posts or whatever data. So basically, because here we're trying to send data to the database as a form of post that has a title and a content. So we're just gonna say we're gonna use backticks here, backtick, and we define it as JSON ID and backtick. The backtick is before the number 1 on your keyboard at the top left corner of your keyboard. So JSON title and then backtick JSON content. All right, so this is how it's gonna be, and then at the bottom we're gonna add another thing. In post is an in-memory store of posts, so we're just going to var posts array of posts. Okay, cool. So we're done with this. Now we're going to add the Swagger documentation, and I know this is the path that many of you have been waiting for. So to do that, we have to create a folder we're going to call config. Now this folder doesn't exist yet, so let's add it. So new folder, config. Inside config, we're going to add swagger.go. Swagger.go. The code that will be inside it is extremely small. So first of all, package config, and then inside it we just import what we import underscore space my blog Swagger. Now remember that my blog is the name of the project I'm working on. But like I said, if I had pushed it to GitHub, I would have used github.com/myblog/swagger, which is the more correct thing, so that whenever you pull the project, it will be working already. Okay, so but who cares? That's all for this file, and we go to the next one. Now we're gonna have to generate Swagger documentation by going to our command prompt, click on terminal. I'll clear, and now we can do swag init g cmd main.go. So we're trying to run this, and swag was not found. So now we have to install swag. So All right, now since Swag is a Go-based tool, we're gonna try and install it using Go command. So I'll clear this first, and then I'll right-click and paste. So type Go install GitHub Swaggo Swag CMD Swag at latest. Hit enter, and when we're done, we'll try and run it on this command line interface. If it doesn't work, we will open a new terminal and run it there. If it doesn't work, then we go and manually add it on our Go path, on our path, all right, environment path. Okay, so it's done installing, so I'm gonna clear here and just type something like swag version. Let's see if it's installed. So it's successfully installed, swag version 1 point whatever. Who cares? So now we're gonna try and run this again. Swag init g cmd main.go. Okay. So because we're trying to add a Swagger folder with Swagger documentation, and run swag init to generate the Swagger documentation. So that has happened. It has generated the Swagger docs. So now we continue with the next step, which is we're gonna run the application. Clear. Go run cmd main.go. Okay. Hit enter. No such file. No such file or directory. We have cmd main.go. So oh, there are two cmds here. Okay. Cmd. Yeah, cmd my. Okay, I got it. We have this. Go run cmd my blog d for main.go, and this starts our server, and then we can go to the browser and try to access Swagger and see whether it runs. So the server is still starting. I'm gonna pause this video until it starts. Okay, we have some errors, and it's interesting what some of the errors are saying. Is saying that hey, look, on main.go line 29, route was not defined. So main.go line 29, routes was not defined. Why wasn't it defined? Did we import routes? Nope, we did not. So I'm gonna save Command S here and see whether it imports routes. Yes, it did. So now that error should go. Okay, then even this one. So let's try and run this again. Clear. Let's run that again. It usually takes some time. Okay, right here we made a mistake. We should have made this a slice by adding this colon, and that's the bug it found out. Okay, I know there's possibly another bug here. Echo swagger cannot use echo swagger variable as handler func is an argument. Okay, cool. Okay, this error is probably because of version incompatibility. So I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to reinstall echo right this. Okay, so we're just going to do go get. I have to delete one of them, and then make sure you have your internet on and enter. So once it installs, all right, the error should go away. Okay, this is supposed to be type version v4. So if you hover over this, it's telling you that you can't use this for this. So we need to import version v4. V4. Like I said, in future, the version will be higher. Okay, so let's just confirm that we have v4 installed. If you come here, we have v4 yeah installed. So this is GitHub last stack v4. So the only thing I can do now is to run go mode tidy, and that's done. Let's see if there's any other errors. Okay, we have two more, but the Wrangler is gone. So let's fix the middleware. Did we import the correct middleware? So we're going to do the same thing for the middleware. We're going to specify the version, and that should take away this error. And if not, we can quickly get it. We can get it from here. I'll do clear, and I'll run go mode tidy again and see. Now it is run. We can do go get this / middleware, and the errors are gone now. So I can save. The errors are gone. Let's see if we have any more errors. Okay, no more errors except this guy. I have to look at the color of the file to know where the errors are. So like this one has an error here. We're getting to that. But for here, it's saying cannot use e variable. Okay, the problem could be because this route is still using the echo instead of the v4 of the echo. So let's go to routes and confirm the routes.go. Oh, you see, it's still using the normal echo. And if we set it to this, we can then see. So you see there are bugs here. Why? Because we are importing handlers and handlers is using the old echo. So if we go to handlers, where is it? Handlers, post.go on handlers, see that it's using echo v4. So now we've given it echo v4. No bugs here. Okay. So routes.go should be cleared out. You see, it has the bugs are fixed. So let's check swagger.go, and it's saying it can't see Swagger. Could not import Swagger. No required module for. Okay, we're gonna fix that. That's because this folder doesn't exist. So we'll do swag init, and it generates this file. Okay, and it says open. Okay, that actually generated this docs.go. All right. For Swagger, Swagger is gonna use this to generate the document. But before then, I want to go to handlers and add Swagger annotations on top of our functions. So every function here, Swagger has to read the comment on top of it and try to make sense out of it. So you add this. Again, you can get it from my GitHub if you don't want to type it manually. Okay, this is for get post, and this is for list right here, and update post. And this is for delete post. So now we've done all that. All right, so let's do swag init. So I'm gonna clear this, and we're gonna do swag init to regenerate the files and everything that is needed. All right, so now we'll try and run the main.go file. So if I hit enter, okay, couldn't find it. So let's clear, and this is what we ran before. CMD my blog. So I'm gonna do CMD my blog d right main.go. Now a few seconds, and guess whether it's gonna run well or throw up another error. So it ran perfectly well. Now we can go test some of our Swagger endpoints on any browser. So if you look at this localhost /swagger index.html, it says fail to load API definition, internal server error, doc.json. All right, doc.json is here in docs, and we don't have doc.json, but we have doc.go. This is where we are going to try and make some edits, and then we can fix the bug. First thing is that we need to introduce Swagger annotation in main.go. So here we have to introduce this Swagger annotation. Okay. Okay, so if you look at this, this error, when we run Swag init, you will see that it's complaining that it's expecting main.go on this root level and it's not here. That's because our main.go is inside our CMD folder. So we have to navigate. Let me clear this first. We have to navigate to our CMD folder, CMD my blog D. All right. Then we can run swag init. Swag init. You know you got it right when inside the docs. Okay, now there's a docs, properly docs. There's .go and swagger.json. All right. So that's how we know we got it right. Now you need to know that I opened the command prompt. I click this plus and opened another one. The one that is running my server is still on. This is the one running my server. So my server is still very much on. So let's go and test again. Okay, because this is just a tutorial and we need to finish it fast. The quick way to solve this problem is to move the file, the main.go file. We move it to the root folder where this main.go, we have to clone it, all right, and move it to the root folder. All right, we'll move one to the root folder. The reason is that the echo framework expects the main.go file to be in the root folder. Swagger expects the main.go file to be in the root folder, but our blockchain expects it to be inside this CMD file. So we can reach to a compromise just because this is a tutorial. Instead of digging deep into echo docs and swagger docs. So we're going to clone this file, just copy, and paste it here. Paste. All right. So now we go into this one on the root folder and remove this. This is what the blockchain needs, Ignite, to run the command line. We don't need it here. So now we're leaving only what the website needs. So we remove things that are not needed. We don't need OS, we don't need FMT, crosswalk helpers. We don't need the two of them. Aha. So I'm gonna just say save. All right. So it has removed all we don't need. So our platform, our main.go file on the root folder looks like this, right? Cool. So we go to the one inside the CMD and remove everything that has to do with echo and swagger. So we leave it the way it was. So we don't need echo here. We don't need e.get. We don't need routes.init. We don't need to start this server here. Beautiful. So this is the only thing we need here. So now for this place, I can manually delete these things. I'll just press Command Save and it removes all the unwanted files here. So save. All right. So everything is clean and clear now. And now we won't have that problem. So we're just going to do swag init again. And I have to stop this server. To stop it is Control X, X for xylophone. Control C, sorry. That's how to stop it. So now I've done stopped it with Control C. You can look at the docs folder. There's a docs folder here. It has docs.go. If we run swag in it, and it will initiate Swagger or initialize it, and then it will give us the .json file here. So that's how we know that it has worked, swag in it. First of all, we need to be sure that we're on the root folder. So pwd, present working directory. Yes, we're on the root folder, swag in it. And it has done the file generation and everything. Pass error in helpers.post.go. So there's an error somewhere. Help, is it? Handlers cannot find the definition echo.html error. Where is it? Handlers. So it's complaining of a bug somewhere. inside post.go, Swagger is complaining that it can't find the definition for this comment. You see, pass comment error. It's trying to pass this comment and it can't find this. So right in post.co and at the beginning of the file, this is the line it's complaining about. As you can see, echo HTTP error, echo HTTP error. So what we can do is just to change the way we document the error. So if we change it to, oops, here, this is the new fix. If we just change the error, but that's one fix. Another fix is to actually try and import echo HTTP error. So this HTTP error was not defined. Instead of us going to create its own file and define it, let's try and just overwrite it with a simple string, failure object string, okay? And this is, let's even find dot HTTP error. It's not any other place in the file, okay? So good. Let's clear and let's run swag init again and see everything works now. And you can see in the docs file, let me even close this. In the docs file, it created swagger.json and every other thing is good. Now, what we're going to do now is simple. We're just going to test. We're going to try and see whether our documentation will load. Now, let's run go run main.go to start our server. So we're running this file and let's see. Once our server starts, yeah, server is started. Okay, so we're coming to the final phases of this project. Let me just show you how to resolve this issue. Now, the problem is that this particular main.go file, it's using Echo Swagger. Echo Swagger is like Echo adaptation of Swagger. And this Echo Swagger uses something called Swagger UI to render the user interface here for the documentation. Now, the problem we're facing now is that Echo Swagger is not doing its job for some weird reason. Okay? And if you look here, look at this Echo Swagger. If you look here, you see that that's what we're using, and the wrap handler is supposed to do its job to fetch Swagger UI, but it's not. So our solution would be to go and get the Swagger UI directly by ourselves, all right, and then implement it. Remember that we duplicated main.go file and kept it here and cleaned it up. That's the one we want to use. Remember also that we have a docs folder. And this docs folder, we have a swagger.json generated when we run swag init. Okay, so the problem we're facing now is that it's not able to connect to swagger.json and render the interface. We don't even have the index.html for rendering. So we have to go to GitHub and fetch Swagger UI directly. So if you go to this address on GitHub, swagger-api/Swagger UI, you'll see this cool repository. What we need from this repository is the dist folder. So if I click here now, you'll see the dist folder. That's all we need. Okay, the files here, we just need exactly these files. So we're gonna download it. I don't see a way to download only this folder. So we're just going to download everything. So of course you can use git init to pull it, but why not? I like to click on download. And once it has downloaded, we can go to our folder downloads. Okay, so it's gonna download and call itself Swagger UI master. Look at it, zip. So opening that, we copy the folder we need, which is the dist folder. Then you copy it to your project directory. This is my project directory, and I'm looking for the docs folder. This is the docs folder. Okay, so first off, I paste it there. Paste, and it is pasting. So all right, now it has pasted, but actually what I want is the contents. I want the contents to be on the root folder. So I'll click on it and click once on this, scroll down, hold my shift key, click the last one, and now I've highlighted the contents. Right click and copy. Then come back to the docs folder and paste it. The same docs folder. Where's the paste? And there we go. Paste 89 times. Perfect. So now if we come back to, of course, I have to delete the original folder. Sorry. Once this is pasted, let me just confirm that it's pasted. Yeah, it's pasted. So we have to delete the dist folder to avoid confusions. Move to trash, and boom, it's gone. So our folder is now like this. Okay. So now, if we come to docs, we can now see that our folder is like this. And first off, I want you to pay attention to index.html. This is called Swagger UI. Okay, nothing here except that it's importing some JavaScript. So let's look at the first JavaScript, Swagger UI bundle, Swagger UI bundle.js. Where is it? And of course, there's the English version. Let me not just waste your time. This is the one we're looking for, Swagger-initializer. This is the one that the Swagger UI bundle.js. You see, if you open it, it's gibberish. But this is the main one you need, this initializer. It has these details. As you can see, it's pointing to a pet store. This is the address where it's fetching its default content. But let's go and look at our website, our documentation. So /swagger index. First of all, this I'm reloading it now. Let's see what happens. And it loads, the content from, oh no, this is wrong. Okay, I'll come back to that to fix that. Basically what's happening is that I need to restart my server, and my server is remembering the previous page. But before I do that, I want to come to here, main.go. You see, main.go. See, if we come to main.go, you'll see that we're still using Echo Swagger. No, we don't need Echo Swagger. So we're just going to say this should connect to the docs folder. Oh, double quotes docs. This way. So let's now try and run our server again, clear, and run main.go, and there is a bug in line 25, more than one character in line 25. All right, the solution is to use static. Okay, so we have to statically load the files. Okay, Swagger. Okay, so every time we docs. Okay, so every time we visit /swagger, it should load whatever is in the docs folder, and inside this docs folder we have an index.html file. So for now, let's just first try and load it, then we'll come back and make some edits in the Swagger initializer. Yeah, to do that is simple. First of all, we'll run our server. Go run main.go. Server is running now. Now we have to go to our browser and load the Swagger index.html. It's still loading my old yes, I've refreshed it and it's now loading the correct thing I expected to load. But if you look at here, you see pet store Swagger whatever, and that's because it's in Swagger initializer. Where is it? Swagger. This is what it's loading. Okay, and you know this is inside docs. Now before I go ahead, I want to let you know what I did to force it to load the current file. I pressed Ctrl Shift R. So on my keyboard, I pressed Ctrl Shift R, so it forced reload of this. Otherwise, you can right click on here. This if you're using Chrome though, I don't know why it's not dropping, but if you right click, it should give you. Oh, that's weird. Well, if you right click here, it should give you the drop down to hard reload. So this is the pet. It's loading it from the internet, but we want it to load from this swagger.json. Okay, So we're just going to give it the address. Now, just to warn you ahead, I have tried this. This would have worked because they are in the same folder, all right? Swagger initializer is here and the swagger.json is here. This should work normally, but for me, it never worked, but we can try it now just to show you. Control Shift R. Oh, it worked. Magic. Okay. So I guess the secret was to Control Shift R it. So it's now loading our endpoints. And where is it getting these endpoints from? These are the endpoints we just created in handlers. All right, this is the equivalent of your controllers, the post.go. We created these controllers and we connected to it from these endpoints. So these are the endpoints it's created for us here. All right. So if you come to these controllers, you will see handlers.post.go. You'll see that we had some annotations, what is called annotations. You see, these things describe the parameters and how Swagger should handle the request coming in here and which fields. So these comments are super important, okay, for Swagger. All right. So that's how Swagger knew what to do to generate these. Okay. So the same things we did with our command prompt. You can do it here. And also you can use Postman to make a call to this. And you can develop this further. It's a regular API. Okay, so you can develop it further. For instance, work on the authorization and stuff. Even some of the information here, you can change it just by going to Swagger Initializer. Where is it? In Docs. If you go to Docs and you'll see Swagger Initializer. Not here. Swagger.json. If you come to swagger.json, see this is a simple blog API documentation. If you come here, this is a sample blog API documentation. You see, my blog API. That's the title. You can change it, and it will reflect here. And you can just drill down. What's the localhost server like? The base URL. You can change it. Like when you host this on your server, on your website, you can change this. Okay. And any other more important details you want to change. Remember that this was automatically generated. So if you improve your post.go, if you did anything here, where is it? Here, maybe add more functions and stuff, you have to run swag init again. Okay, you have to run swag init, and it will regenerate this file. Where is the docs dot? Yeah, it will regenerate this and update it. Okay. So at the end of the day, I think you've seen how to integrate it. Of course, even to the best developers and the greatest developers like me, you can still run into certain bugs. And I knowingly left out my bug fixes here. The way I move around the app to try and find the bugs, I left it so that you can know how to solve your problems when you face them. Remember that I'm on Udemy and I have more courses on this topic on Udemy, and you can subscribe to me, and if you check the description section of this video, you will see more information and more links. You can join my Telegram group where I drop blockchain related content, okay, and I alert people when I release new videos. So click there to join. All right, see you.